Hey everybody, it's Danae, also known as Decent Lady, also known as Grammy D because of my fur babies. And I just wanted to jump on and chat with you for a few minutes and talk about some of the things I have intentions of doing with this YouTube channel. And one of them, as I discussed in my very first video, was to share reasons or ways to save money, help with your budget, and then reasons why I started reselling things and just different side gigs that I'm in the process of working on. And then I also wanted to share some inspirational type things with you guys too. So I'm planning on doing some videos in the very, very near future so I can get them in a habit of getting them up and going every week for you. And then that way I can share some of my favorite things with you guys. Whoops. So I'm sorry, I don't have my tripod with me. As you can see, I'm sitting in my van today waiting for my husband to get done with a couple of things that he's working on. And so I'm sitting out. It's kind of cloudy, but it's actually pretty nice. It's in the low 70s here and it's been in the upper 80s. So it's pretty nice for now. It's supposed to get up a little bit higher in the day as it goes on, so I'm going to enjoy it now while I can. So anyway, so I wanted to talk today about the first steps with sorry, I just got a text message that threw me off as I'm trying to talk. I wanted to start with why it's important for your budget. And I find a lot of people overspend on their food budget. And living on disability for as many years as we have and not having a whole lot of money to spend on certain aspects of our budget, and one of the major ones that we found that we could cut back in was our food budget. And so there's a couple of things that I know in one of my videos I kind of challenged you to do a few days or a week with only what you had in your kitchen to be able to cook with. And that can be challenging. If you haven't done it, I think you should try, because I think you will find that you can make do with a whole lot less than you thought you could. But anyway, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about was we like to go to different stores, not just like the big main stores. Like around here we would have like a Kroger's or a Myers or Martin's or Walmart. We also have a little store called Save-A-Lot, one that's very, very not very known, just a little real local one. It's called Pay and Packet. And then we have Aldi's, which is a bigger, more well-known across certain parts of the country. And I've found that even though you go into these little stores that are designed to help you save money, that sometimes the deals that you get are still not quite as good as you can get. There's few and far between of them, but there are some of them. And so it helps to know what the prices are at different stores. So one of the things that I did many, many years ago was I made my own, commonly used in my home grocery list to find where I could get the best prices. And yes, it was time consuming, but I'd rather spend a little bit of time and save a whole lot of money. So for example, we found that going to Aldi's, which is a great place to shop, that some products, for example, the one that I think of the most often is like a can of pineapple. And it's not that big of a deal, but you go in there and you look at certain things and you find that the price is either comparable or slightly under at Walmart sometimes. And so watch to make sure that what you're getting is the best deal. And I also found that we found lots and lots of great deals at Dollar Tree. And you go in and you think, oh wow, that's only $1. But then you get to looking at it. For example, they have like some salmon pieces, and they're $1, but it's only like, I can't remember if it's been a while since I looked. It was either 2 ounces or 4 ounces. And so I think it was 2. And you pay $7.99 or something like that in the store, roughly, at least last I looked, so it's been a while. And then you get into the prices at Dollar Tree, and you find that, and salmon is really good for you, and if you use it right, you can do a lot of things with it. So you go in and you look at in the freezer section, they actually have frozen pieces of salmon. And the price was just slightly more expensive at Dollar Tree, buying it for just $1 for their package. But when it comes to buying a whole pound, you're going to find that the actual price to pay for that pound, especially if it's gone on sale, is cheaper than it would be at Dollar Tree. So make sure that when you're shopping, you're doing those comparison pricing. And just because something is in bulk or a larger item doesn't always mean that it's cheaper. And if you look at your labels on the shelves at the stores, usually in the upper right corner will be a little like square, and it'll have price per ounce or price per package, or I don't know. It depends on how they label it. Different things are labeled different ways, but most of the time your food items will be price per ounce. And I have found that generic Walmart brand Great Value macaroni and cheese is for one package is cheaper to buy than it is in their 6-pack package. It's like 5 or 6 cents per package more expensive to buy 6 at a time in the prepackaged group than to buy 6 individual packages themselves. So be sure and watch those little things. I know that 5 or 6 cents doesn't add up to a whole lot, but if you're buying groceries and you are adding those up, it does begin to actually start saving you money. And so if you buy, for example, if you have macaroni and cheese, or what we call it at my house, we call it taco mac. So we put taco seasoning in it, we put hamburger meat and corn in it, and then put some salsa in it. So it's not just macaroni and cheese. I can use the generic and it doesn't affect the flavor because I'm adding some other things to it. So anyway, we would do that. And if you have that as a meal and you're shopping for, you have 2 weeks worth of groceries to get, and you have got, and you want to do macaroni and cheese taco mac, or sometimes we do chili mac, which is kind of the same thing, except that we use a little bit of chili seasoning and some tomato sauce with it, with the cheese. It gives it a cheesy flavor with that, with the hamburger meat. So that's another option. But you can do that, just add a few other things to it, so that you can buy a generic that may not taste as well. The other thing that we do if we just do macaroni and cheese is I do buy the generic Velveeta, and I cut off a chunk, probably about 1 inch wide, and throw it in, cut it up and throw it in with my macaroni and cheese. It adds to the flavor. It doesn't cost me that much. It's still cheaper than buying. I can buy a box of macaroni and cheese for like 86 cents at Walmart for the generic Great Value brand, versus like Kraft, it's $1.39. So I'm saving almost 50 cents a box. That 50 cents just went into putting a little bit of, for one box, a little bit of Velveeta. I've just used 5 boxes. So, or yeah, because we use about 4 boxes, I think. So sometimes, well, if I'm adding a bunch of stuff in it, I probably only use 3. But if we're just doing plain macaroni and cheese, We want to have leftovers for lunch for the next day for a couple of the guys to go to work. So therefore, we add those little things to it. So my whole point is that even though it doesn't seem like it's a big savings, and it's, if I only saved like 30 cents on those 6 boxes of macaroni and cheese, but I do that twice, that's 60 cents, that's almost enough for an extra loaf of bread. And that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but when you are on a very tight budget and you only have $200 to $300 at the absolute most, and you're trying to feed 5 people, 4 to 5 people, depending on which one of your kids are going to be home, that extra loaf of bread might be extra sandwiches for lunch, or it might be toast to go with your egg salad, or, you know, it just depends. But anyway, so even those little savings make a big difference. So be sure and keep track of where you're getting it, because you may find that it's on sale at this store, but this store is still cheaper that you've got written down on your list because you know it already in advance. So that's my number one tip this week, is to keep track of what you might potentially be spending versus what you could be spending if you're not keeping track. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. See ya. As the phone falls.